Hello everyone, welcome back. In our last video we looked at how we can add CSS into our HTML web page using the external method. So that is writing our CSS in a different file and including it in our HTML file. Now in this video we're going to be looking at classes and IDs. Now these are very important to CSS and also JavaScript because in CSS we can use classes to select multiple elements and give them a unique style to that class. Now to create a class in HTML, you go to the element you want to add the class into and type in class. Then you can start writing your class name here. Now let's go back to our web page, and now you can see that all our paragraphs here are red, and that's because we set the paragraph tag to be read all through the entire page. But now let's say we want this first and second one to be green. Now the way we can do that is by using a class. So I can set a class of green, copy this and paste it here. But you can set this class name to anything, but I'm just going to use the generic name green. Then go into your CSS file and you type in .green. Now this dot is known as a CSS as a class selector. Now what this just does is the dot select all tags, all classes that are the name green. Now if you hover over this, you can see we have element and class green, which is telling us that this is selecting all elements that have the class green. So let's save this. You set the color to green or whatever color you want this to be. Come back here and save this, and if we go back to the web page and refresh, you should see that these first two paragraphs are green. Now another way to do this, which is not widely used but you can do this too, is by using an ID. Now an ID is always meant to be unique to a page, so if you use an ID once in your HTML web page, it's always recommended not to use it again because it's meant to be unique to an element. Now if I set this ID to be, let's say, purple, copy this, now go here and remember we select classes with a dot, then I paste in the class name and set the color purple. When I save this and go back, okay, since we're working with an ID, we don't use dots. So dot is always meant for class names, while to select an ID you use the hash. So the hash is used to select ID. So if you hover over this, you see elements. What is being selected here is all elements that have the ID purple. So if we save this and go back, refresh, you will see that this is now purple. Now one last thing that we'll be looking at is how can we style text inside this paragraph. So let's say we want, from this comma, we want all the text in here to be, let's say, black and underlined. Now how can we do that? Now if you remember, in the HTML section of this course we looked at the span tag. Now you can select all the text you want to be different, cut it and create a span tag inside your paragraph tag. Then you can paste this back, and let's save this. Now in this span tag we can now add a class. Then you can add a class of black, and one very good thing about class names is you can add multiple class names to one element. So you can add the class name of black and underline. So now let's copy these class names and create them in our CSS file. Now dot black, will set the color to black, then dot underline. Now to have underlines in CSS, we use the property text decoration and set it to underline. So when we save this and go back to our web page, when we refresh, you can see that this text is now black with an underline going through it. So that will be it for this video. Remember, class names can be used multiple times. You can add as many class names as you want to one single element, and IDs are always meant to be used once in a HTML web page. So in our next video, we're going to be going more into colors and how we can add different colors to our CSS file to make it more appealing. So see you in the next video.